think about forgiving but not forgetting?
I agree with that.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, because it's hard to forget. We're human. But you
True.
should try to forgive if you can. But it's really hard to forget.
Some things get very intricate and it can get tough sometimes. So today we are reviewing a movie called Exhibiting Forgiveness, requested by our lovely, lovely viewer, Sean Burley. Thank you so very much for requesting movies. We really love when you do that.
What up, Sean? Are you watching this one?
He's going to talk about you in the comments. But thank you for this, Sean, because I probably would have never watched this had you not requested it. And I'm glad you requested it because I enjoyed this one. Boy, we'll get into the nooks and cranny of it. So this is rated R, 157 minutes. So let's first have Miss Jules tell us who stars in Exhibiting Forgiveness, which is currently streaming. Okay.
It stars Andre Holland, John Earl Jelks. Andra Day plays the wife.
And Andra Day.
Yeah, she's doing so good acting.
And she can blow. She can sing.
Of course.
Shoot.
Yes. And Anjanou Ellis Taylor.
Okay, I like her.
Yeah.
Remember, she was the one in Ray who threw that brick through his car and then took off running. But she's in all kind of stuff. She was in Ray, and
she also
she's in the
played
TV show. She's LL's
Venus and Serena Williams' mom.
Yeah, and I think she was LL's wife in, is it NCIS that he's on? Whatever show he's on, at one point she was his wife or whatnot. But she works, she does really good. She's a good actress. So Miss Jules, tell us what Exhibiting Forgiveness is about, besides forgetting and forgiving.
Okay, a black artist on the path to success is derailed by an unexpected visit from his estranged father, a recovering addict desperate to reconcile. Together, they struggle and learn that forgetting might be a greater challenge than forgiving.
If that ain't the truth. So let's get into the nooks and cranny of this movie. So some of the movie with the lead characters, you see when he was a little boy being, raised up by his mom and dad, and how he used to go out and have to work with his dad and do all this stuff. The kids just don't, you want to enjoy your childhood. But with his dad being, I'm just going to say it, I really can't stand using this word, but I'm going to say it, toxic. He was not a good dad while I was watching this. I actually reached out to Sean, was like, Sean, I don't like this kid's dad. He's an awful parent in here. I was getting kind of worked up because it started off a little slow. It started slow. I'm like, oh, I wonder how this movie's going to go because it's really slow. But then it kind of got into it with the drama. And I got hooked. I forgot I was watching the movie. I forgot. And it evoked some emotion in me.
Here's some things that I noticed though. Like, for the first time they showed him as a little boy, I was like, is that supposed to be him? Like,
that's what I didn't
really
know that either. They didn't make that very clear when they were
Right.
distinguishing. Because for a while I said,
Right.
okay, he said Terrell. Oh, his name is Terrell. That's him. But you are correct.
Right.
And then the dad, from the time he was a kid until the time he was an adult, the younger dad didn't look anything like the current
I was gonna
dad.
say
So
that. He looked
that threw me
older.
off.
He looked older
He
then.
really did, or the same age.
It's like, what the heck?
Or
this
the
is
same
throwing
age.
me off a little bit. This is throwing me off.
It took me a minute until he kept saying Terrell. But I'm like, okay, they're going back into his childhood because I thought it was just another family. And they were going to give us another story. Because you know how some movies will give you 3 different stories, in one. That's what I thought they were doing until he kept saying Terrell. And I'm like, let me... Okay, this is him.
It was
but
a touch confusing.
A touch.
Yeah. But we're basically talking about like, what do they call it? Is I know I'm not saying the phrase right, but generational with the fatherhood.
Generational curses.
Yeah,
that
his dad didn't really treat him right. And so he trickled it down and he didn't treat his son right. So now the son who is trying to forgive his dad he's like, I'm doing everything opposite. He's like, when my son does something wrong, I hear your voice in my head and I make sure I don't say what you would have said.
Do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went through a rough childhood. I mean, his dad was just making him, and we can give a little bit more away when we're doing stuff to streaming. I mean, his dad, not only was he on drugs, but he was just hard. I mean, a hardcore man, you don't have to be that hard on a child.
You work. You're a man, you work.
And
You
he was a
focus
kid.
and you work. And then when he got into drugs, he's like, I had to cover it up. So what did I do? I kept working. I worked harder, to cover that up. And the son was like, I knew you were on drugs.
Yeah.
And then he even asked him one time, like, why'd you do crack? Why crack? And he's like, well, he explained like his cousin was doing crack, and the boy's cousin. And she's like, if you try this, you'll know why. Like, it's not like nothing you've ever tried. And then he tried it. Like, I don't really, I don't really understand why people are trying crack and fentanyl. Like, especially
You know,
fentanyl,
today-
like, even if you touch it with fentanyl, you could die. So like, why would
even
I want
start?
to ingest something that even if I could touch it, I could die? I don't have that mentality, but I know some people do, and that's why we have drug addicts. But it's just totally just is off to me. Like, you know, crack is bad. You see your niece going through this, and you know she's having a hard time, and you decide,
let me try it anyway.
Let me
And
try
then
it anyway.
he talked about that first high.
and he got hooked.
That he could never, and any addict will tell you this, that first high when he decided to try, he made a choice, okay? He doesn't have a disease. He made a choice to try crack, okay? And he talked about that first high being unbelievable, like, oh my gosh. And they can never get that high again. And they'll tell you, they'll just keep chasing that high and chasing it and chasing it. He talked about how he had crack every day because he would go out and work, do his work, but he said he had
He
had
said it
crack every
starts
day.
out like
Yeah.
on the weekends, and then it went to every day.
Then he got addicted to it. Okay. Again, I'm gonna say it one more time because I feel strongly about this, and this I thought about it. It's not a disease. It was a choice that he made, and then he got addicted, and he couldn't get off. But well, you'll see that in the movie how his journey goes through. But I like when you bring up generational curses because he could have stopped that. He made another choice to be so dang on hard on his son. You're not that hard. What was he, about maybe 10 or so? Something like that. Maybe
They
10,
don't really
11.
give us ages.
Yeah, he looked like he might have been about 10 or so. But making that type of child push lawnmowers uphill and dig out junk from your car, and he's stepping on nails and rusting, you make the boy work with a hole in his foot. You could have broke that generational
and then poke
curse.
him because he's crying because he had a hole, like it went all the way
Through a nail.
his
He
foot.
stepped on a nail when they were it looked like a junkyard almost.
Like he could have got tetanus.
Oh, yeah,
tetanitis or what? Tinnitus.
You get a tetanus shot for it.
You get a tetanus shot for it.
Yeah.
but
Because that happened to me before I stepped on a nail and I had to go to the hospital. It went straight through my gym shoe, but it didn't go through. Thank goodness. It went through my gym shoe and it made a small hole, and I had to go get a tetanus shot from I went to the ER.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But yeah, I was just watching this, and once I actually got into it, my heart was just like, oh, I'm into this movie now, and this is hard.
It was a sad one, Sean. It was a sad one.
Yeah, but thank you though. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
It was a sad one, Sean.
I can do sad movies.
It was slow. I love the art though. I really
Oh, the
love
art. We need to talk about the art. So now that we talked about the movies, let's give a fun fact in regards to the art.
All right,
which was
so
fantabulous.
Gagosian is pleased to announce exhibiting forgiveness, an exhibition of new paintings by director Titus Kaffar in Beverly Hills. Shown here for the first time, this group of paintings is featured in the artist's first narrative feature film, Exhibiting Forgiveness, which debuted at Sundance and was released theatrically on October 18th. So I think that was limited release because on IMDb it says December 4th. And I do remember seeing the movie poster for it and seeing the thing. It was it was a short run with limited release, and then they brought it out in a wider release later.
Into streaming.
I liked it, but it's not fully my cup of tea genre or whatever. I mean, it was interesting, and I'm glad I watched it at home. It's not something I remember even when seeing the trailer. I don't normally always go to the movies to see dramas. Sometimes I do. But sometimes I don't, because if there's so many movies out, I'm like, let me save the theater for the big movies with like the action and explosions or action scenes, and save these dramas for home. That's just my personal preference. But sometimes I have seen dramas at the movie theaters. I saw this one at home since it's streaming, and it was fine. It was deep.
Yeah, it was.
It's deep. It really makes you think, and it really it could be triggering for some people, actually.
Yeah, I especially with the addict, with a drug addict, being a child and having a parent as a drug addict. Yeah, it was. So we want to thank you very much, Sean, for requesting. Come on, keep them coming. You know, we tell you keep them coming. We want to thank you so much for talking to us all the time. And
Johnson, all the time. Thank you.
We appreciate that. It keeps us going. So we want to encourage everyone. Comment, let us know if you see something different, or hey, make some requests. You know, make some requests. It doesn't matter what genre it is. We do anything. You can find us on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram.
And
now,
if you follow us on Facebook, say hi to Sean.
He's
there.
really?
He's there.
Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe. Even on our YouTube, we get a lot of traffic on our YouTube channel, so that's doing very well. And also our Facebook, we get some nice views on our Facebook as well. So we want to thank everybody. If you watched the video, if you donated money, we want to thank you so very much. We really do appreciate
Truly
your donations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just thank you for watching.
We put it towards renting this.
Yeah.
Exhibiting forgiveness. So
yeah, part of it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So again, we're on Cash App as well. I almost forgot Cash App. Any type of donation is appreciated. Doesn't matter what you want to donate. You cool with us.
Yes.
You cool with us. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to our review of Exhibiting Forgiveness. Go ahead and pull that up on streaming, and we will see you back soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.